So this is part 7 of my series on Sami Smith, based around the Tony Dodge interview. Now, before I launch into it, I realised that I probably don't give enough acknowledgement to all my wonderful subscribers, all the fabulous people who leave comments for me, especially those people who leave comments on every video and really put a lot of thought into those comments. I really greatly appreciate you so much. And of course, members, subscribers, both help me to keep my channel going. Couldn't be more grateful for those people. And of course, people who help me out with things like buy me a coffee, super chats, not that I do lives very often, or super thanks. These are all things that, for me, make a huge difference. I should probably now rename Buy Me a Coffee to Buy Me a New Pair of Headphones, because it seems that my cat has really taken a liking to headphones now. So it's probably a more practical thing to call it other than Buy Me a Coffee. Anyway, I just really wanted to acknowledge all my supporters and just say how much I truly do appreciate the support that I get on this channel. So let's now jump back into this Sami Smith series.
So I'm trying to think, what else can you tell us that can help? Anything specific about that car? Is there anything like, I don't know, maybe did the car? Oh, okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so a lot of us just remember today because, again, we weren't ever really looking severely at her vehicle when we were just friends with her, but...
First of all, who's a lot of us? She's not just talking about herself as an individual, but she's talking about a group of people. And the thing I find interesting about that is that, to me, that creates the image of her sitting there with people somewhere discussing Kylie's car. A lot of us just remembered. And the thing is, the same day that she was doing this Tony Dodge interview, we have Megan Cole going on Icad Mel's channel and coming up with the same thing about the sticker. So that makes me wonder where this conversation occurred. And if she's saying a lot of us, it makes me question if, and I know Megan Cole swears black and blue that Daisy wasn't around, Daisy didn't come back to Truckee, yada yada, but for her to say a lot of us implies a group of peers, a group of kids that are all the same age. To me, the way she's saying that suggests that there was a group of them talking about it. And it would seem very odd for an adult like Megan to just be randomly hanging around this group of teens while they're having this big, deep conversation about Kylie's car. Unless, of course, she was there with one of her own children. So it does make me question if the reason why Megan is suddenly aware of this sticker is because she was privy to a conversation amongst a group of teens, which included one of her children. I don't know. Maybe that's just over-speculating. But it's just a weird connection that her and Megan, Sami and Megan, are both talking about this sticker that they've suddenly discovered at the same time. And Sami's talking about it as a group of individuals who've discovered that notion. Now, the other thing about this that really, really bugs me and does my head in is the way she talks about we weren't looking severely at her car, or whatever the wording is, I've already forgotten it, because it's just not English. You don't severely look at something. You might look at somebody in a stern manner, but to say severely looking at something, I know she means that we weren't thoroughly scrutinising Kylie's car, but it's a really, really odd turn of phrase. And I always wonder what the heck was going on there when she said this. And the other thing that always made me question this was that she's saying, we had never noticed it before, but there's this sticker on the back of Kylie's car. But here's the thing, Kylie arrived at that party when it was already dark. And supposedly they were going to her car for drinks, sure. But if you're going to someone's car for drinks, are you really going to be studying every single aspect of that person's car? And there is something that should have been more apparent, and I'll get back to that shortly.
We do all remember that she has a sticker of a bull. We don't have the exact sticker, but it's a sticker of a bull that is right under the windshield wiper. Right under that is where the back windshield, the animal. It's a sticker of a bull, the animal, like a cow with horns.
Okay.
Right under the back.
Dear, oh dear, oh dear. A cow with horns. Now, we know that it wasn't a bull, for starters. And I find it kind of amusing also that she has to specify the animal. Because a bull, if you're saying a bull, then you're making specifically the suggestion that you are using a noun. You're not saying bull as in bullcrap. You are talking about a noun, a thing. There is a sticker of a bull on her car. Well, what other bulls are there other than an animal? And yeah, it wasn't a bull at all. But, we've all talked about that. But, like I just said before, this part, so odd. All this stuff, all this talk about the sticker, and very specific in terms of where that sticker is. Now, the reason I say that this is really curious is because one of the very, very early news articles that came out quotes Lindsay as saying that Kylie had a mandala hanging from the mirror in her car. Now, that's only in one newspaper article, and it doesn't pop up again after that. So it's one of those early things that was mentioned and then never mentioned again, and a lot of people missed it. But to me, given that she's claiming that they were all in Kylie's vehicle, they were hanging out in Kylie's vehicle and supposedly spent quite a bit of time in Kylie's vehicle, why is she referring to something on the outside of the vehicle which you're possibly not likely to pay a lot of attention to in the dark when you are already probably 3 sheets to the wind, as opposed to something that you would probably almost certainly notice inside the vehicle? That makes me question how much time Sami actually did spend inside Kylie's vehicle, if she spent any time in there whatsoever.
Windshield wiper. It's right under that, and her car does have hubcaps, because in a lot of these pictures, cars don't have hubcaps. Her car has Honda hubcaps.
So where are these Honda hubcaps? Because they're not on Kylie's car. How is it that she could be aware of this small sticker on the back of Kylie's car, and yet she thinks that Kylie's car has hubcaps when it doesn't? And don't forget, we know that sticker was there, Because when Adventures with Purpose found Kylie's car, you can see in the underwater footage that the sticker was there on the car. Now, for some reason, after the car was retrieved, before it ended up in the salvage yard, that sticker was removed. I have no idea why that would be, but I think there is definitely some significance to the sticker. But I just find it so odd that she's claiming that there were Honda hubcaps on this car when there weren't, and yet she's aware of this much smaller detail of the sticker. So what is going on here?
Okay. Wow. So look for that car that has it may have a bull a sticker of a bull on the back window, that 2013 Honda CRV. It's a silver car,
and there's a
with
sunroof as well.
And it has a sunroof. Okay, that's another good detail. So it has a sunroof and it has a bull sticker. There's a sticker of a bull, the animal, a bull, on the underneath the back wiper, the rear wiper, the rear.
Yes, right underneath it.
Okay.
No, Sammy, there was no sunroof either. So why is it that she's focused on this sticker, which was not a bull, it was a ram's head, but why is it that she has this small detail in her head of this sticker on the back of the vehicle, and yet she believes that it's got Honda hubcaps and she believes that it's got a sunroof, neither of which it has? Why the confusion there? What is going on here? It is very odd. Now, I would be very curious if anyone has images of the Honda CRV that used to belong to the other truckie teen whose girlfriend was very close friends with Sami. Because maybe Sami is thinking of his Honda when she thinks about the hubcaps and the sunroof, but even then that still makes absolutely no sense, because she's been quite specific about the sticker on the back. So why is she getting it so wrong about the hubcaps and the sunroof?
Jane Darby is wanting to ask you, anyone that you notice hanging around her? Was there anybody was hanging around her? Did you notice anybody around her?
To be fully honest, I was inebriated at the time, so I wasn't
I get
fully attentive of who exactly was around us. When we were going around together, we were just in a lot of different huge groups of people we had never met, because her and I are similar in the sense that we're both very social. We'll talk to anybody we meet. We love meeting people, and so that's what we were doing and everything.
So if you were both in amongst these huge groups of people, why didn't people come forward? This whole narrative here is problematic to me. She's claiming that her and Kylie, well, she was so inebriated that she can't quite remember, but she remembers that her and Kylie were constantly among huge groups of people. And that yet you have law enforcement pleading for more people to come forward with information about the party. It just doesn't gel for me. There is something that just doesn't fit together here. Now, I think it's also important here to note that when he was asking her if there were people hanging around Kylie, she was shaking her head while he was asking her that question. So in this interview, even though she says, well, I can't remember because I was inebriated, she's shaking her head, saying no, there weren't people hanging around.
There was a lot of guys that did approach us. Definitely, I was getting a gut feeling during that party that something just didn't feel right with the amount of people that were there. And how old some of these people were from the amount of people who did show up. It was scary.
She's completely contradicted herself there. So, like I said, when Tony Dodge was asking her about other people at the party, and she was basically giving the impression that it was quite a safe place to be, and she's talking about her and Kylie going around different groups of people and meeting all these people. Now, if you were worried, you wouldn't be mixing around all those different groups of people. You'd be hanging out just with your circle of friends, wouldn't you? And now she's saying that it was all very concerning. So, there's something seriously wrong with this narrative here. Somewhere in all this is a massive lie. Either she was so utterly out of it that she has no idea what happened at the party, or she's just outright lying for some reason, because her narratives here just do not add up.
You girls are amazing. I'm just impressed.
First of all, what is with that look on her face? That is such a smug look. What is there to be so smug about? I want to wipe that look off her face right now. But honestly, this guy, I can understand when you're doing an interview, you want to make someone feel good about themselves to get the best interview out of them. But he's just a complete utter sycophant. The way he's talking is just way too over the top, in my opinion. Which has absolutely no bearing on Kylie's case whatsoever, but I just had to get that out there.
But it's so sad that this has happened. I just, man, my heart goes out to the family. I just, she's a beautiful young girl. She's only, I got a daughter the same age. Lord, I can't imagine what they're going through. I just can't imagine. I'm just trying to think. I'm assuming that they're checking mine shafts. Maybe the car went down off the road into a ravine. I don't know. But the phone. What about the phone? Can you tell us about her cell phone? Is there anything specific you can tell us? Go ahead.
So it has we're having trouble remembering what color. Like my cell phone is a green phone, but I have an orange case on it. But we do know that her phone has a black case on it with a sticker on the very middle back that says sex wax on it. And it's an iPhone, not the Samsung that was found. It's an iPhone.
So it's an iPhone.
I forget which generation and which number, but I can post about that or something, or get in contact with you.
Okay.
Now, depending on the sort of case you're using on a phone, I wouldn't expect someone to know what colour someone's actual phone was anyway. I know in terms of my phone, you can't tell what colour the casing is because of the phone casing, because of the actual case that the phone is in. So I can't blame her for not knowing what colour Kylie's phone is. And, well, now it is curious that she does know that it was in a black case with a sex wax sticker on it. Does she know this herself, or did she hear someone discussing it? Because we all speculate, well, we've all said Sami and Kylie aren't that close. But if she knows about Kylie's phone, she knows nothing about Kylie's car other than that sticker on the back, but she does know that Kylie's phone was an iPhone, and she knows that it was in a black case with a sex wax sticker. That's very, very specific. So, how does she know that? Don't forget also that the whole party occurred at night time. So maybe she has seen Kylie's phone another time. But to be totally honest, how often do you pay attention to your friends' phones? I might notice if someone has a phone case that's similar to mine, or if it's a really nice phone case. But I don't think I could tell you what everyone's phone looks like. Maybe that's just me. But it is definitely curious to me that she has all this misinformation about Kylie's car, but she's spot on about the phone. And the other thing I found really curious was her saying, well, I'm not sure what model it is, but I can check and get back to you and let you know. How is she planning on checking? Is she in contact with Lindsay? Does she mean that she was going to talk to Lindsay and ask her what type of phone it was? Or did she have access to the phone? To me, it would have to be either or. We certainly can't say that this definitively says that, well, Sami must have had the phone because she was going to check what model it was and get back to him. But it certainly puts it out there as a possibility. But we can't also discount the possibility that she meant she was going to talk to one of Kylie's friends or talk to Lindsay or someone about the phone. And then we have the talk about the Samsung that was found. Why is that important in her mind? Now, if a Samsung had been found during the search and it was totally irrelevant, then I can't see why you would bother even bringing it up. So to me, her bringing it up says that there must be something significant about that Samsung that was found. I could be wrong on this, and I'd like to know what other people think about that. So do let me know what you think in terms of this Samsung that was apparently found. And I believe that this was the phone that was found on the Boca Prosa Road. If someone could also just clarify that, that would be good as well. But I just find it really interesting that she has really strong knowledge on some things and really dodgy knowledge on others.
Real quickly, Laura Truan wants to ask you, what about pictures and social media posts? There has to be evidence this party went down. I'm sure there's people taking photos or TikToks. I'm sure there's got to be a TikTok video of the fight or something, right? There's got to be something out there.
Yeah. So there's hundreds of videos. We have videos of people taking videos.
Oh, wow.
We have
very good. Very
hundreds
good.
of videos, hundreds of pictures. We've asked everybody to send us any videos and any pictures that they have, even if it's a picture that looks exactly like something else sent us. It could have different angles. We are looking at an app called Be Real, which is where a lot of kids waited, because the Be Real, it's an app where you can post a picture and there's 2 minutes at random points in the day. There's only one a day. And it comes as a notification will pop up on your phone that says, you have 2 minutes left to post your Be Real. Like, everybody has, you can post it later in the time, but you're supposed to post it in that time. We're looking at everybody's Be Reals because we know a lot of people waited until they were at that party to post their Be Reals. So we're looking for people to look back in their Snap memories of anybody that we can see in those videos, anybody that we can see in those Be Reals. We are looking at Instagram posts, photos taken on video cameras, photos taken on Snapchat, videos on all of these, and everything.
First of all, I intentionally went with this particular screenshot. The reason being is that this was the look on her face when he talked about TikTok videos of the fight. She was biting her lip. Obviously, this touched on something. When he mentioned about TikTok videos of the fight, there was something here that was concerning to her. Now, we know that there was nothing left on social media about the party. So she's rabbiting on about all this social media that they're looking at for photos and stuff, and yet there was nothing on social media. To me, all it does is highlight the absence of videos and photos on social media, which for her age group is just bizarre. Particularly when you look at her social media after the fact, how many times has she posted since then where she's been at parties or been at events and stuff like that? Multiple times. And when she's been surrounded by people in those images. So I think for me that has always been one of the most significant things. The absence of anything on social media. And I am curious about the significance of the Be Real, because she really gets going talking about that. And it seems to me that when she really gets going talking about things like that, that there is a reason for it. And I wonder if maybe there were Be Real images that were since removed, and maybe that is something of a concern to her. And there is perhaps incriminating images that were put on Be Real. I don't know. But in her mind, the Be Reals seem to be the most significant thing. I would love to know why that is. Now, that's another good spot to stop this video, because we're once again heading up towards half an hour, and I don't like my videos to go over half an hour because, well, there's so much to take in, so much information to process, and I definitely think it's easier to just process smaller chunks than to go through the entire thing. It's much easier to miss things if you're looking at a really large, broader video. So, thanks for watching and listening. Please hit the like button. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. And leave a comment below. Let me know your thoughts on what I've discussed in this video.
Give a fuck about me, 'cause if you stop to